For guided reading, we're going to be reading the book, The Movie. Right now, we're looking at the front cover. On the front cover, we see the title. This is the title of our book today. The title of our book is The Movie. The title is the name of the book. Scholars, repeat after me. The title is the name of the book. Great job. If we go down here, we see there's an author. The author is the person who writes the pages in the book. The author writes the. Great job. The author writes the pages in our book. The author of our book today is Eddie Evans. He wrote the pages in our book. Under the author, we see there's an illustrator. An illustrator is the person who draws the pictures. An illustrator is the person who? An illustrator is the person who? Great job. The illustrator is the person who draws the pictures. Even though we have an illustrator in our book, someone drawing the pictures, this book is nonfiction. Nonfiction means real things. So nonfiction is about real things. Scholars, when I say nonfiction, I want you to say is about real things. Are you ready? Okay. Nonfiction. 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 Great job, scholars. Nonfiction is about real things. While we read, we're also going to notice a pattern. So if we look at the first page, we see the beginning of our pattern. Our pattern is going to be the blank. So on page 3, our pattern is the line. So every page is going to start with the word the because this is our pattern. Good job, scholars. Good readers always want to start reading on the left side of the page because good readers read from left to right. So I'm going to draw an L on the left side of the page. Good readers want to read left to right because that's how we read. We read left to right and top to bottom. So we only have one line here, so we're just going to read left to right. While we're reading, we want to make sure we're pointing under each word as we read. Scholars, where do we want to point to when we read? Good job, under the word. Good readers point under the word. Can I have a scholar pause and remind me? What side of the page should we start reading on? Good job, we start reading on the left side of the page. Can I have another scholar tell me where our pointing finger should be when we're reading? Great job. We should be pointing under the words, not on the words, because if we were to point on the words, we wouldn't be able to read them. So we want to point under the words so we know what word we're reading. So let's read this page together. We're going to start on the word the, because we know our pattern starts with the on each page. So I'm going to put a dot under the. Go to the next word, because we read left to right, line, the line. Scholars, read this page after me. The line. Great job. Let's go to the next page. What side of the page do we want to start on? The left side. Perfect, scholars. And where should we be pointing as we read? Under the words. Our pattern starts with the word the. So we're going to point under the tickets. The tickets. Scholars, read this page after me. The tickets. Great job. Give yourselves 2 claps. Let's go to the next page. Good readers start reading on the left side of the page. That is an L for left. Good readers also point under the words. We're going to start off with the word the. Perfect, because that's part of our pattern. The doors. The doors. Scholars, repeat after me. The doors. Awesome job, scholars. Let's go to the next page. Good readers start reading on the left side. Good readers also point under the words. Perfect job, scholars. You guys are all doing great. Let's keep going. Scholars, good readers start reading on the left side of the page, and good readers point under the word, starting with the word the popcorn. Great job, scholars. Let's keep going. Good readers start reading on the left side of the page. Good readers also point under the words, and we start with our pattern, which is the word the screen. Scholars, let's read this page together. The screen. Great job. Good readers start reading on the left side of the page. Good readers point under the words. Fantastic job, scholars. Good readers start reading on the left side of the page. Good readers point under the words. The movie. Give yourselves 2 claps, scholars. Great job. Who can remember what was the first thing that we read about? I'm going to go back to the first page we read, which was page 3. What was the first thing we read about? Great job, scholars. We first read about the line. This was the first thing we read about because it was on the first page, the line. What did we read about after the doors? So let's go to the doors. I'm looking at the page, the doors. If I want to know what we read after, I'm going to turn to the next page. What does the next page say? What did we read about? Great job, scholars. We read about the doors. We read about the seats after we read about the doors. Great job. Who can tell me, what was this child eating at the movies on page 7? What was this child eating? Great job. The child was eating the popcorn. Awesome. What other snacks would you see at the movies? Teachers, can you call on a few scholars to share their favorite snacks that they get at the movies? Those were all super yummy ideas. I love getting popcorn at the movies. Have any of you seen movies at the movie theater? If so, teachers, can you call on 3 scholars to tell us a movie that they've seen at the movie theater? Those were all super cool movies. Good job, scholars. Who can now tell me, if we look at the word movie, I'm going to clear this page so we can work a little bit on it. If I'm looking at the word movie, how many letters are in that word? How many letters are in the word movie? Let's count. Okay, I'm going to put a dot under each letter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you hold up with your fingers how many letters were in the word movie? Great job. I see lots of hands holding up 5 fingers. Awesome. And who can tell me how many words were on page 3? How many words were on page 3? Great job, scholars. I see 2 words. I see the and I see line. There's 2 words. Great job, scholars. You all did awesome today. Before we end our guided reading, who can tell me, where do we start reading? What side of the page do we start reading on? Great job. We start reading on the left side. Can anyone tell me, where do we point when we're reading? Good job. We point under the words, not on the words. We want to point under the words so that our finger doesn't cover the words. Good job. And this helps us be good readers because we're recognizing the pattern in a book by touching under the words and reading from left to right. Great job, scholars. Give yourselves 2 claps for today. And teachers, you can pick a cheer for your scholars to do.